Yeah, but still ain't motionless. Test the wrestler's hands for shakes and see the flutter when the patience breaks. I keep time with the crickets in 4-4 and gangster lean sirens in 3. The trouble speaks.
Double Dutch sound.
We came together kind of on accident. Like me and one of the producers, MK Larada, had started a production company to make hip-hop beats. And then just really, like, in the process of making a production company, we kind of started working with the MCs that we liked in Minneapolis and kind of finding other MCs that we liked in Minneapolis until we had kind of a really well-rounded crew. We started working from there as 5 solo MCs, kind of just pulling for each other. Anytime somebody got a show or a link, we'd pull up a hand, and then everybody else would pull up a hand until, you know, we're all trying to play big shows in Minneapolis, try to move those to big shows in the Midwest, so on and so on and so on and so on. You know, people who are hardcore fans of Audition for the catchy parts or for the easy stuff probably won't like it as much as they liked Audition. It's a lot more dense, it's a lot more noisy. The beats are kind of designed to be more challenging, and the lyrics are, I don't know, I'm grown up. It was like 3 years before I sat down and made like a full project. So I think a lot of the stuff that I was so bluntly forward about being angry kind of takes a back seat to being curious about what other people are up to. Like, the kind of overall theme of the record is like, what do you do? What do you do with yourself? You know, what do you let get done to you? You know what I'm saying? How open are your eyes and how open is your mind? Honestly, aside from just saying it all the time that you're open-minded, like, what do you do to show that? What did you do after high school that wasn't college and wasn't getting a job that furthered what you want to do with your life? You know what I'm saying? Aside from, exactly, what effort do you put into your dreams? Like, you know, that's what I've been about since, you know, I learned how to talk, and, you know, so it's kind of one of those things where looking around and everybody's so angry and so full of ideals, but still working at a job they hate for however long because that's how they get to buy cool stuff. That doesn't make any sense, and it's stupid. And I'd much rather live in a tiny 1-bedroom with my entire family and be happy doing what I'm doing than live in a giant mansion and hate every day of my life, you know? There's a lot of songs on this record that there's never been a song like that, you know? And like, I've never personally heard a song that was like a lot of the songs on the record, and that's more what I was after. Instead of I didn't really set out to make any hits. I didn't set out to make anything that would kind of rake it in. I wanted to make songs that were like nothing anybody's heard. And I wanted to like go out and try to tear it up, you know, make really raw stuff. And kind of after Audition came out and after a lot of people started getting into it, there was a lot of people that were really into it on the surface and really liked the vibe of it, and they'd catch on to some of the words and they'd be really gung-ho about them. But if you talk to them, or if you hear what they're saying to their friends, either about the songs or whatever, you know, you can't sing along with, like, my song De La Souls and then call some kid a fag, like, around me. It doesn't, it means you're not listening. It means you're not paying attention. So doing that, I went on a couple tours last year that the audiences were largely people who weren't getting what I was overall going for. So I just kind of set out to make a more challenging record to kind of not weed those people out, but really find who's really willing to pay attention and listen. And not so much divide the fans up, but kind of, you know, if you're in it, if you're all for it, like whether it's the vibe or message I'm going for, or just like the sound and like the aggression and how abrasive it is. If you're in it, if you're really in it, then come on, let's go. But if you're just in it because your friend likes Atmosphere and Atmosphere is friends with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not interested in you as a fan. And I don't mean that to be rude, I don't like that. I'm not really interested. You know, there's all these bands that, you know, you couldn't convince them of it, but they all sound just like Lifetime, you know? And their fans, they're all excited, but if you play like a Lifetime record for these people, they're like, it's whatever. And they don't realize that half these bands just kind of sound like really, really weak versions of Lifetime. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but that's just how it goes every time. Is there's like a band that kind of pioneers something, and then a bunch of fans that are also musicians that want to do something like that with their own twist, and then their own twist, and their own twist. And it takes a long time before anything really original happens again. Yeah, Lifetime or Sunny Day Real Estate or even Knapsack, Or I mean, honestly, like, I mean, the Bled and Under Oath are not the pioneers of like screamy, like metalcore, whatever you want to call it. But you know, they're one of like the first generations of the way it sounds these days. And you go on Warped Tour, and there's a bunch of bands that sound exactly like junior versions of them, with, you know, the singer guy, the screamy guy, you know, the multi-instrumentalist. It's cool. It's nice to see people do things. It's just, if you're gonna get respect from me and from yourself, maybe ultimately, you gotta really be willing to try something that's new and really new, and not just like, this is what they're doing. You know, my band sounds like a mix between this band and that band. Nope. And I'm not interested in hearing that band. I want to hear a band that's like, well, I can't really tell you what it sounds like. You're gonna have to listen to it.
Can you see how we speak right through each other?